Alright, we're back with the Catalina, and a major milestone of this build has been completed, and that is the interior framing. The transverse and longitudinal framing is complete on this kit, and as you can see, there's a lot of framing to go on. This took me about almost 2 weeks of about, I'd say, maybe 30 hours worth of work to get all this done. And I even stopped doing the framing back here because you're not going to be able to see on this side, but on this side you will be able to see. So I did go all the way back because there is a window on the other side that you can see into, and I'm also going to have this back gunner's hatch closed, so really the only thing that you're really going to be able to see is a little bit into here, because there's a bulkhead that goes in between here and only a little door, so a little bit of light will get in there, but not much, so you will be able to see a little bit of it. So I didn't go ham on that so far, but I'm still going to add all the other detail parts that go in there as well. So all the framing is done for that. Now moving on, our next step is getting all these two bulkheads have some parts to go on them, and I want to get these painted and decaled and everything before I attach them into the fuselage, just to make life a little bit easier, because there's a couple fire bottles that go on that, some electronics boxes that go on here with some photo etch and decals also on these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead, and we have all these pieces, a few of them on each sheet. Like, let's see, what is on this one? I can't remember exactly what is on this one, but there's that. We got our canvas pouches right here that go on the bulkheads as well. We got the horns for our fire extinguisher right here that we're gonna get cut off. More pouches. The electronics boxes right here, those are going to get sanded and cut off, and then we'll get those painted up and put on. These are the exhausts or the water drain plugs for the nose landing gear well, and also a dome that goes on that, so we're going to get that done as well. And then more electronics boxes on there. I don't know if we're going to be using all of those right now. And then we have a couple pieces. This is a bracket that goes from this bulkhead to the outer frame, so we're definitely going to be taking care of that. I am going to have to scratch build one of these arms because it's not, I don't know where it went, but there's supposed to be two of them and there's only one of them here. So we got that. And then our canisters right in here, get those painted up, and our fire bottles right here as well, get those all painted. And then we have decals to add on to all of this stuff. I just want to get this taken care of prior to having it inside the model, because when it's inside the model, that's going to be a real nightmare to get to with a lot of twists and turns and everything. So we're just going to attack that part first. So I'll be back once I get everything painted and decaled to show how everything looks, and then after that is done, we can get these bulkheads into the fuselage. Also, I want to, before I do that, I also want to attach the clear parts from the inside right here, so that way that's taken care of. Got the paint taken care of, so I don't have to worry about masking off the inside right now. But that's where we're standing with this. Still a very, very long way to go. As I said, the framing took me 30 hours to get done, roughly. And then these bulkheads are probably going to take another week or so to get these done. So I'll be back in 1 second when all of this is painted and ready to go into the model. So I'll see you in 1 second. Alright, and we're back with the Catalina, and the Catalina is finally starting to get some color to it. Not much right now, but it's the base coat, so everything is getting started. What I started off with was the interior. Right here, we got all the framing done, and I primed it with my Stylo Res black primer, and then I came in with the AK matte aluminum primer for a base coat that's going to go underneath everything. Now typically I would be putting on my chipping fluid on next, and then waiting for that to dry, and then putting on the interior color. But I'm going to skip the chipping color on this because some of the parts are so fragile that when I'm trying to knock off and chip everything, it would probably break some of these pieces off, and I just don't want to deal with that nightmare. So I'm going to use the sponge technique for chipping on some of these parts right here. So that's where I'm looking at that. So we got that done on here, looking pretty nice. And then on the opposite side, same thing with the base coat aluminum. It's also going to help reduce the amount of paint that I use with the interior green because it is a lighter coat versus trying to do the black. That would take a lot of interior green to cover that black. So we got also a couple of the bulkheads, the base coat's done, get the green on, and then we're going to start painting the boxes and everything on that. So, and we still have a few other parts to add in on there as well. So for the interior green, I'm going to be using MRP interior green, MRP 131. This is federal standard number 34151 or ANA 611 right here, and this is pretty spot on to the US interior green for aircraft during World War II. So this is what I'm going to be using. I have plenty of aluminum and plenty of interior green to go over because there's going to be a lot going on in here as well. So I'm letting this set for a while, even though it's lacquer based and it dries pretty much immediately. I'm still going to let that dry for a little while before I start putting on the green, and also I need to take care of some other stuff. So that's where we're sitting with the Catalina right now. And then also I have the doors painted with the aluminum, and then we have all these little pieces right here that are going to be painted different colors, like the horns to the exhaust are going to be black, and then a couple of these bottles right here are different colors as well. So we're moving along. It's finally starting to come alive. So we're going to get the interior green done, get that done, and then we're going to put a clear coat over it. Then we have decals to put on some of the bulkheads and some of the areas around the interior of the fuselage. Then we're going to clear coat it again, do a panel line wash on it, get all that done, get that looking really nice and kind of not grungy, but looks like it's worn, and also do the chipping on it. And then we can start getting these pieces into the fuselage like so. Maybe if it fits, we're gonna have to do some test fitting to see. Like, I know I'm gonna have to cut off a little bit of this bracket right here, so just to get it to work. Also, let's see, that way works a lot better. But again, just some work to do. We got some sanding to do to get it to really fit really well on there. So no, that one goes like so. So yeah, we definitely have some sanding work to take care of to get this all to fit correctly on here. As you can see, we have some fit issues with that. So that's where we're standing with this. It's going to be a slow process, but we're going to get the process done. And when it's all done, this is going to look absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to see how this all turns out. So as you can see, we got a little gap, so we need to shave down a little bit right here, and then check on the other side as well to see. But again, I'm really excited about this coming all together. So alright, and then we test on this one. Right there, like so. And still a little bit of adjustment, but this one is pretty close to perfect right here. So yeah, but this one's not going to be going in for a while because I have a few other cockpit parts to put onto it. So as you can see, that's how that's going to look right in there. So again, this is going to be absolutely amazing. It's a lot of work for a kit. Because it's multimedia with the fiberglass and the resin, some of the fit is not perfect, and you do have to work on this. So this is definitely not a rookie kit. Definitely you want to have a good amount of experience to get this done. So I'll be back after I get the interior green all painted, and then after that we'll move on with some of the weathering stuff and also some of the other painting that needs to be done. So we're trucking, but it's slow. And we are back, and we got a lot done on the Catalina right here. Basically all the interior stuff is painted and ready for clear coat to go on with the weathering and the decals before we start doing all the other interior stuff, which we still have a very long way to go on the interior before we even get to think about closing this thing up. But moving forward, I got all the framing done. That took me 3 weeks, I think, 2.5 weeks to get all this framing done. Divide that in half if you have the half kit right here. But as you can see, all the framing is done, and I used the MRP interior green World War II on top of the AK aluminum base right there. So that's looking pretty well. I do like how some of the areas are a little bit faded, so it looks like the paint is kind of wearing through on that. So got that done on that side, and then this side pretty much the same thing on here with the aluminum and the interior green on there as well. Now moving forward, as you can see, I got all the little bottles painted and ready to go. Those are going to get attached to the wall, and all the little fire bottles and oxygen bottles going on. Got all that done and painted. So got to get that clear coated, because I'm pretty sure that there's some decals that go onto all of these right here, as you can see. So getting that stuff set off to the side. Yeah, we have some decals and also some photo etch to go on to a few of these pieces right here. Yep. Alright, and then moving on to our bulkhead, once I don't drop it, and doesn't look like I broke anything, luckily. But we got this piece all done and painted up, just a few pieces to paint on this side, and then this side I had a few boxes to paint up and a little bit of wiring to go on there as well. And then onto this bulkhead right here, again a couple little boxes and some wiring to go on, and then this side did have a good amount of boxes to paint and cabling to go on. There's also going to be a few more boxes that go right here with some photo etch, and then another box right here with another photo etch piece, and I think there might be 1 or 2 more photo etch pieces on this bulkhead as well. This bulkhead didn't have much to it, just a little fire axe. Got it painted with the wood brown for the handle, and then a leather for the sheath for the fire axe right here. Then on the other side there's nothing to it right there. And then finally the last bulkhead, a little bit of work done to that. And then this side is going to be the cockpit side. We're going to have a lot to go onto here, so we still have a very long way to go onto this piece as well. So up next, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to clear coat everything with a gloss coat, and then we're going to apply the decals that go onto the inside of this on these pieces right here. Then I'm going to hit it with another clear coat. Then I'm going to hit it with the panel liner, so all these little panels will stick out and really make it pop. And then after that I'll probably do a little bit of chipping on here using the sponge effect on there, and then the final matte coat, and then we can start trying to get this stuff fitted in. So that's the plan for part 5. Hopefully by the end of part 5 we have all of this assembled and we're starting to put this stuff into the fuselage, so we can start working on the other parts like the navigator desk, the radio operator desk, and a few other pieces. We also do have a few pieces of photo etch to attach up here in the flight engineers area right here, so we'll get all that done as well as the flight engineer seat also. Still, like I said, a very long way to go on this, but it is going to definitely be worth it when it is all said and done. Alright, so that does it for part 4. Thank you guys for watching. sorry for the delay. I know typically I do it on Sunday, but we moved it to Wednesday, so this is basically a week and a half of progress on this build. And as you can see, it's a very slow moving build. And then so next week will be on Wednesday. We're just going to keep on doing it on Wednesdays. So if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, and hit the bell button for notifications of when I post future content like part 5 of this build. But again, thank you for watching, and until next time, have a great day, stay frosty, and happy modeling.